We have Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud. Thank you very much, sir, for joining NDTV. Sir, my question is, judiciary under leadership of you visited Kutch for the first time in history of India. CJI with fellow Supreme Court judges visited Kutch to address and understand the problem of district judiciary, district judges. You talk with them. How you see, what are the problems there in district courts especially, and how you will assure common people that they will get justice from everywhere, from the top, from Supreme Court to district judiciary?
Well, Ashish, normally the dialogue between the higher judiciary, that is the Supreme Court, and the high courts is with each other. And I thought that has to change because the first point of contact for our citizens is with the district judiciary. आम नागरिक की कोई समस्या आती है तो पहले कोर्ट कचहरी, कौन सी कोर्ट जाते हैं वो? सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में आना उनको मुश्किल हो जाता है. पहला जो उनका पॉइंट ऑफ कांटेक्ट है वो जिला न्यायालय है. From that perspective, I thought that it's important that we engage with the district judges, understand what are the issues which confront the district judiciary. Because when we strengthen the district judiciary, we are really going to strengthen the interface of our citizens with the district judiciary. And from that perspective, we had this national conference of over 250 judges from across the spectrum in Kutch, all belonging to the district judiciary. It was a conference where I heard their stories, heard their perspectives, their opinions, so that we can change our policy making to adapt to their issues and of questions which concern them. Because through the judges who have a direct interface with common citizens, we gain to learn a lot more about the problems of the stakeholders in our system, including the litigants, the lawyers who come to courts, marginalized groups who seek access to justice, women, what kind of issues they have when they have a case in a court. So I thought this was a very unique attempt, and this is going to be a forerunner for a larger conference of over 1,000 judges which we are planning to convene, drawn from the district judiciary all over the country, again in Delhi.
Sir, one more thing. Now you have introduced technology in the judiciary. An advocate sitting in Kanyakumari can join proceedings in Supreme Court. Litigant also can see it. What is your future plan? How to use technology at best for the betterment of common people?
My mission in the use of technology is to ensure that the work which the Supreme Court and the High Courts and the district judiciary perform goes to the homes and to the lives of common citizens. So let's be very clear. The object of introducing technology and modernizing the judiciary is not to make this a new silo away from the lives of citizens, but to use technology to reach out to citizens. I'll just give you a few examples very briefly. We have been having hearings on video conferencing. As a result of video conferencing, the Supreme Court of India is no longer just a Supreme Court which is situated at Tilak Marg in Delhi, but it is truly, I believe, a Supreme Court which represents the nation. A lawyer from across the country, even a remote part of the country, can access us on a simple cell phone by getting the link of the video conferencing hearings. Likewise, litigants who may or may not have cases in the Supreme Court can hear what is being done in the Supreme Court. I personally feel that all citizens have a vital stake in understanding what work is done by the courts. At one level, of course, the public revenues pay for the expenditure which we incur on the institutions. So there is a right to know of citizens. But beyond that, I think common citizens will have a sense of faith and confidence in the work which we do as courts once they realize the seriousness with which even the smallest of issues, smallest not for us, smallest perhaps in the perspective of the larger issues which the court has to decide, but small issues like pension for somebody, the termination of the service of somebody, a misconceived FIR which is lodged against somebody, somebody who's languishing in jail for years without parole, and as an under trial for several years without bail. We take each of these issues very seriously. It is one thing for common citizens to see what is happening and very different to read what is happening. When you see something, you understand what the courts are doing. We are using other areas of technology. For instance, I'm conscious of the fact that there is an internet divide in India. हर एक नागरिक के पास वही लैपटॉप नहीं होता है, हर एक नागरिक के पास स्मार्टफोन नहीं होता है. So how do we ensure that nobody is left behind in this mission? So we have opened now about 18,000 e-Seva Kendras across the district court complexes in India on a pilot basis, so as to make available all the facilities of the e-courts project, which is a joint project of the Department of Justice of the Government of India and the Supreme Court of India. I'm chairing that project for the last several years. So we are opening up these e-Seva Kendras so that all the facilities which are provided in the court in terms of access to electronic information, digitized files, e-filing, even the passes to enter the courts, these are available to common citizens through the use of technology. And I just thought I can share with you, I mean, I don't want to, sort of dwell too much time on some figures, but you will be surprised to note that as on 29th February 2024, 3.09 crore cases have been heard on video conferencing mode all over the country in the high courts and in the district courts. As of date, the data of about 21.6 crore cases, of which 4.40 crore are pending cases, and 25 crore final judgments and orders are available. This data is available online. We have, e-transactions. The third figure which I'd like to share with all your viewers is that the e-Tal website of the court system has recorded 46 crore e-transactions from 1st of January 24 to 6th of March 24. So you'll understand the reach of the project, the e-courts project, which we are implementing now as part of phase 3 of the mission mode project. The union government has sanctioned about 7,200 crores for phase 3. And our mission now is not just to automate paper processes. What we want to do is go beyond just automation into a whole digital environment by digitizing files, by ensuring that every part of our work which is done is through the use of information and communications technology. Speaking for myself, my entire court is, as you know, completely paperless. Yes. All the files which come to us are in the digitized mode. So we are in that sense also mentoring other courts in the country. We are training stakeholders. A large number of our court staff is differently abled. Many of them are visually impaired. So we have made sure that the websites which are put forth by the district court complexes in India, they also provide access to the visually impaired people, so that no one is ultimately left behind in our mission to provide access to justice.
Sir, as a head of Indian judiciary, how you ensure common people that judiciary is for them and working hard for them?
Let me put it in just a few sentences. First and foremost, I think the greatest strength of the Supreme Court of India and of our high courts and the district judiciary is that we are people's courts. There's a purpose why these courts were created in terms of the constitutional structure, and this was to ensure that irrespective of your wealth, irrespective of social status, irrespective of caste, irrespective of religion, irrespective of gender or any other social grouping, we provide justice to common citizens. And there is no case which is too small even for the highest court of the nation. And there is no case which is too big. We treat everyone with the same sense of equal treatment. And our mission ultimately is to stand by common people. And we are conscious of the fact that irrespective of who is in power, in which state, common people do have concerns, whether it is on issues pertaining to the daily lives or some of the more important issues which confront the nation. And the judiciary is a very vital element in the preservation of the rule of law. And it is when people have faith in the work which courts do that we really gain legitimacy as part of the overall constitutional fabric. So I want to send this message across that we are there for the common citizens every moment of our working lives. Sometimes I get emails even in the middle of the night, and I'm always available to answer those emails. I got an email at close to midnight there was a young woman who needed a medical termination of pregnancy. My staff got in touch with me. We constituted a bench right away the next day, and those cases were heard. Somebody's house is being demolished. Somebody is being evicted from a home. Somebody has to surrender to a sentence of jail but is suffering from a serious medical ailment. All these problems, which are seemingly innocuous problems of individual citizens, occupy very serious attention of the courts.
Sir, you delivered many judgments for women rights especially. Do you think lot more has to be done for women empowerment? This is lots of cases come to Supreme Court every day. We saw permanent commission in forces, many cases. So do you feel that more has to be done? There is gender bias in society also.
Well, of course, we have overcome many challenges to be where we are. There's no manner of doubt that as between what the status of women was in terms of levels of education when we gained independence and where we are today, the country has really progressed substantially. I'm conversant about the progress which has been made in the legal profession itself. But having said that, for all the work which has been done, particularly by the Indian judiciary, a great amount still remains to be done. You mentioned about, the grant of permanent commission to women in the armed forces, which was part of a judgment delivered by the Supreme Court. As a result of the grant of permanent commission to women, you now have women in the Army, Navy and Air Force occupying very important roles of responsibility. You have women who are occupying important positions in the Indian judiciary itself. In the recent recruitment to the district judiciary in India, in some states, the recruitment of women has crossed 50%, in some cases 60%, and nearing 70%. So that's just a sign of, I believe, the emerging nation. That once you have spread education far and wide, more and more young women are being educated and they are coming into the workplace. The challenge is, having achieved so far what we have, how do we ensure that we build on what we have without being complacent with what we have? Recently, we designated 12 women as senior advocates in the month of February 2024 in the Supreme Court. From independence through to 2024, we had about 13 women who had been designated as senior counsel. So we have had at one go an almost equivalent number of women who have come to the fore. Increasingly, young women lawyers are choosing the legal profession, both in terms of jobs in law firms and in the mainstream, which is court practice. And I do believe that's a sign of a social transformation which is taking place in Indian society, of which we should be very legitimately proud, and we must do everything that we can to ensure that, having joined the workforce, we create safe, secure and dignified conditions of work for women. In the registry of the Supreme Court itself, we have registrars who are very senior district judges who assist me and the Chief Justice of India in the work which we do. And I've made an effort to have women from different parts of the country come and work in the Supreme Court. So what this does really is that they bring in their experience of 20-25 years working in the district judiciary and bring that to the Supreme Court in helping us design policies for expanding access to justice.
Sir, let me ask one personal question. Everybody talks about your fitness. So you tell us what you do. Since 3:30 in the morning to late hours, 8, 9 o'clock, you are still always still in Supreme Court working in chamber. How you manage it, sir?
आशीष, मैं सुबह मेरी दिनचर्या ऐसी है, मैं 3:30 बजे सुबह मेरा दिन शुरू हो जाता है, क्योंकि वो वक्त भी ऐसा होता है कि पूरा शांत वातावरण होता है, माहौल शांत होता है। उस समय थोड़ा सा मैं चिंतन कर सकता हूँ, मनन कर सकता हूँ, थोड़ा योगा भी कर पाता हूँ। मैं काफ़ी साल से, मैं 20-25 साल से मैं योग कर रहा हूँ मैं। और इसके अलावा मैं और my best friend, who is my wife, Kalpana, we follow a basic Ayurvedic dietary lifestyle. Both of us are vegans in our dietary preferences. We have a plant-based lifestyle. I'm not sure this works for everybody, but it's worked for me. And that, I do believe, is very key, because what we put at the tip of our tongue ultimately determines the vitality of our bodies and minds. But having said all this, about my leading a disciplined lifestyle and, my love for yoga and being a vegan, I also believe that your fitness, both in a physical and mental sense, originates within. It doesn't originate without. It doesn't originate beyond us. So it is within the mind and within the heart of each of us all that we determine how fit we are. I must share with you that it's not that I don't share my own set of challenges. I've had, my life has been like the life of any other person in our society. There have been ups, there have been downs, there have been facing challenges. I've seen the whole cycle of life. And my mantra really is to live always on a sense of optimism and hope, and not be overcome by the challenges, the problems which we face at that particular point of time. Another thing I believe is that in all the challenges which we face, there's always a purpose and meaning. So long as we understand that there is some purpose and meaning in all the challenges which we face, which may not be readily apparent at that particular time, but so long as we retain that intrinsic element of faith in our own humanity, I think we all have it within us to do something to surmount what we have to encounter from day to day in our lives. So I think I'll leave that.
सर, मैंने मुझे पता चला, लोग जानना चाहते हैं आप खाते क्या हैं, तो साबूदाना और रामदाना जो यूपी में बोला, उसकी बड़ी चर्चा हुई। उस पर बहुत सारे लोगों ने कमेंट भी किया कि चंद्रचूड़ साहिब जो है वो रामदाना खाते हैं, साबूदाना खाते हैं।
आशीष, रामदाना हाँ, साबूदाना नहीं, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ महाराष्ट्र में साबूदाने की खिचड़ी बनती है, खासतौर पर व्रत के दिन। तो पर मैं ज़्यादा करके रामदाना खाता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं पिछले 25 साल से मैं सोमवार का व्रत रखता हूँ। पर हमारे यहाँ, हम महाराष्ट्र में खासतौर पर रामदाना ज़रूर लेते हैं। We call it laya in Marathi. It's called amaranth in English. And surprisingly, it's such a light cereal that if you blow, it will blow away. But it is one of the most healthy cereals that you can imagine. So I have my own preferences. I do have some cheat days also when I don't follow a very strict diet. But overall, so long as you keep your mind under control, I think that solves a lot of your problems.
चीट डे में क्या पसंद है सर आपको?
Well, ice cream.
तो थैंक यू वेरी मच सर फॉर गिविंग अस टाइम, और बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं आपको। जुडिशरी ने जो कर रही है, जिस तरह से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बेंच के जो पूरी हियरिंग लोग सुनते हैं, बड़ा ट्रांसपेरेंसी के ढंग से उस पर कमेंट करते हैं, ये एक बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है। और हमें ये भी पता चला जब आप बांग्लादेश गए थे तो वहाँ के ऑफिशियल ने भी कहा कि हम भी इंडिया को वॉच करते हैं, फॉलो करना चाहते हैं। तो एक बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है इंडियन जुडिशरी के लिए कि ट्रांसपेरेंसी एक आई है, अदालतें अब जुड़ रही हैं, न्यायपालिका आम आदमी से जुड़ रही हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
थैंक यू आशीष, थैंक यू।